In the last video, we chatted through 6 questions we can ask ourselves to reflect on the year so far and get some direction on how we want to finish the year out. We also worked through the line art for this cozy little illustration. So in today's video, we're going to be going through the watercolor process for this illustration and chatting about how I'm revamping things in my own life, more specifically in my career, based on my answers to those questions. So grab some tea, some coffee, a sketchbook, whatever you need to get cozy, and let's get to it. So let's start with what wasn't working in my business. First of all, I was simply trying to do too many things. Being an independent artist already means that you wear a lot of hats. You're a creator, social media manager, customer service, product development, financial person, and so much more. You're doing all the things already, so by adding in endless platforms to share your work on, multiple business tools, and just excess crap, it becomes way too much very quickly. So I realized that Instagram was where I was spending a lot of time and effort and not really seeing a return on investment. I don't want to sound too businessy just thinking about the analytics of things, because my Instagram followers are people. They're individuals who've so kindly chosen to bring my art into their newsfeed. But Instagram was not showing it to them. Multiple people DM'd me saying that they'd followed me and turned on notifications for my posts, and they still weren't ever seeing anything that I shared. I got maybe a handful of sales from people popping over to my shop from Instagram, but that's it. It was taking up so much time and not really giving anything in return. Not only that, but it very negatively impacted my mindset both personally and professionally. Comparison was brutal. It was such a flood of everybody's best side that I constantly felt bad about literally every area of my life. Long story long, Instagram was not worth it for me, and I made the decision to let go of it. It's been a few weeks, and I gotta say, I am doing great. My head's clearer, I'm a lot more joyful, and I'm putting more time and effort into my creativity and in other areas of my business. So what is working? What moves the needle forward for my business and my creativity? First of all, YouTube. Our little community here has grown so much this year, and I couldn't be more excited about it. I genuinely love making videos and sharing my work with you guys. It's also an income stream for me. I make a little bit of money off of AdSense, as well as the occasional sponsor. Whenever you buy supplies from my Amazon affiliate links on my videos, I make a little bit of money there too. But most importantly, I just love the community. It feels so much more, one-on-one kind of. We get to just sit and chat and make art together. How cool is that? Secondly, Patreon. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty lost with Patreon when I first started out. I didn't really know what to share and what to do with it. People would just kind of come and go because there wasn't really anything keeping them there. Again, I was spending so much time with Instagram when I could have been working on building a better Patreon. Anywho, this year I finally feel like I've hit my stride with it. So I started the Curious Creatives tier back in March, and that has been amazing. It's been far more fun, and the group's grown way bigger than I ever imagined it would. We've done a lot of really cool quests this year, including but not limited to anatomy, developing an illustration, and our current quest is plein air painting. It is a lot of work for me to develop the curriculum, but the quests themselves are pretty low-key and go at your own pace. So when we're all working together on the assignments and sharing our progress, it's just really, really fun. It's been nice to have a community where I can grow alongside other artists who are just as passionate about exploring their creativity as I am. I've also started making a monthly zine for the Cozy and Curious tiers, where I share things like new illustrations I'm working on, or sneak peeks at my sketchbook, insights in my journal pages, whatever is currently inspiring me, etc. Honestly, I kind of think the zine is as much for me as it is for them. Sometimes a month goes by so freaking fast that I don't really take the time to appreciate how my skills or my mindsets are changing and the art I'm making. But making the zine gives me a space to just lay out the month and really look at how I've grown and reflect on how much fun I had with my different projects. There's also a new free tier on Patreon, which I think could really change the game in a very good way, but we'll get to that in a little bit. On the creative side of things, I've been keeping up with my daily art practice, and that has been so good for me. Y'all are probably sick of me talking about my
healing my relationship with creativity journey,
but I'm just so excited to be excited about art again. I've been brainstorming new Meraki Meadow illustration ideas, finishing up my first Meraki Monday sketchbook, and spending a lot of time in my messy sketchbook just exploring. And now that the creative side of my business is more fulfilling, I'm becoming more excited about the business side of it too. So how can I 10x the things that are working? What can I do to really hone in on and improve in those areas? I guess we'll just start with YouTube again, just go down the list. Number 1, frequency. I've finally developed a rhythm for scripting and editing videos, and I think I can up the frequency of my posting schedule. So my goal is to be able to work ahead on a few videos over the next couple of months. That way I have a little bit of a stockpile so I can begin posting the new video weekly. I'm not sure yet if we'll begin that new system in November or if it's going to start up at the beginning of maybe January. I don't know, we shall see. One of the benefits of cutting out what wasn't working is that it gives me a lot more time to dedicate to the things that are working. Number 2 for YouTube, incorporating other kinds of videos. So my illustrations like this one or my Meraki Meadow illustrations, they take a lot of time to develop. So to be able to post weekly, I need to incorporate more low-key, quicker time frame kind of art. Obviously, I'm still going to be working on these larger, more involved illustrations, but I want to start bringing you along for some of the smaller things too. Things like afternoon painting sessions in my sketchbook, or maybe some study with me kind of videos where I practice like figure drawing or prop design. So let me know what kind of videos you're interested in seeing, as well as what kinds of things you want to chat about. Y'all know, I'm a talker. I have an opinion about everything. But I've also kind of thought about maybe doing a few videos where it's just making art and like soft music in the background. Okay, vulnerability time here. I have the charisma of a rock. And not the cool kind like volcanic rock or like the Ozarks. No, I'm talking like Midwest gravel. That's me. So I feel like sometimes the videos where I'm talking are kind of boring. But like a no talking video, it's just chill and quiet, and it's supposed to be. I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point, so let's move on. Number 3, sponsorships. So I've only had 1 or 2 sponsors on my channel before, and I think this is a very overlooked source of revenue on my part. If I were to start working with more sponsors, it would take a lot of pressure off of having to make sales in my shop. Not that I want to quit selling my artwork, I absolutely love having a shop, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but sponsorships would be a bit more of a passive source of income that I think would really benefit my business. So I've been working on a list of potential sponsors, as well as trying to figure out pricing for something like that. Y'all know I don't ever want to promote anything that I do not personally love. You guys come first, and I'm never going to share a product or a service or something with you that I'm not truly backing. Your trust is far more important to me than a paycheck. So coming up with a list of brands that I want to work with is a little bit harder than I thought it was gonna be, but we're getting there. I'm finally starting to send out some pitch emails, so we'll see what happens. Number 4, using the community page. So I've been trying to post there once or twice a week, but I haven't really made it a part of my schedule, so I want to make that happen. More than likely, this is going to be snippets from my sketchbook, or maybe some polls asking like creative questions. I don't know, I love hearing y'all's thoughts on things and getting to know one another, so I think the polls are a really great way to do that. Next up, Patreon. Like I said, I freaking love Patreon. It's much more close-knit than Instagram or TikTok. I don't know, what other platforms are the kids using today? Anywho, one way I can improve the quests, or at least my process for writing the curriculum, would be to work on outlining the material in advance. So we've been doing it where I post a poll where the group can choose which quest we do in the upcoming month, which only gives me a few weeks to actually build the curriculum. This is an especially crunchy time frame when I have to make new demos for the curriculum or take a lot of photos, etc. But if I were to start prepping new quests ahead of time and then posting the polls, it wouldn't really matter if it takes a week or 2 to get all the votes in because I'd already have progress made on both of the quest options. Does that make sense?
It doesn't only make sense to Allie thing.
Anywho, so I mentioned earlier that Patreon now has a free tier, and I'm gonna be using that thing like crazy going forward. I'm kind of going to be using Patreon like Instagram and sharing my art there a lot more often. And yes, even the free tier is going to have access to all of those posts. I really want it to be a space for anyone who likes the photo caption combo of Instagram, but doesn't want to be absolutely bombarded by everyone's posts and reels. So my goal is going to be to post 3 times each week. A Merry Monday sketch as usual, as well as work in progress shots of new illustrations or little sketches from my daily practice. Next up, my shop. What's new? What can we improve? So I'm definitely very happy with the way my shop has gone this year. Offering international shipping has been a life changer for sure. I've also finally stopped buying so many prints at once and instead buying like 2 or 3 of each design at a time when my printer is having a sale. I'd much rather have like 3 prints of a design and sell out of them than buy upwards of 10 and have them sitting in my closet for the next 2 years. I have noticed that I'm running out of stickers though. I try to buy them when Sticker Mule or Sticker Giant are running a good deal, but y'all have been buying a lot of stickers lately and my stock is beginning to run a little bit low. Which is great. I mean, that's a good problem to have. I love that you guys are putting my stickers on your laptops and your journals, which is insanely cool to me. But I definitely need to figure out how to bring in more stickers without it costing me an arm and a leg to print. Printing them myself is not very effective since I have to cut all of them out by hand, but buying them through a third-party printer means I have to buy a lot at once for it to be cost effective. While we're on the topic of stickers, I do have this cute little Bits and Bobbles autumn sticker bundle. Very autumnal, very cozy. Or if you want to splurge, there's a prints and sticker bundle with 4 autumn-themed Bits and Bobbles sketch prints as well as the autumn stickers. Anywho, I've also noticed that having a big sale each quarter has been very effective, specifically pre-order sales. Running like a 2-week pre-order sale allows everyone to buy whichever prints they're wanting, and then I just tally everything up and place an order through my printer, knowing that those prints are already paid for. Also, it allows people to buy prints that sell out pretty quickly during the rest of the year, so, it's a win for everyone. I don't really have any specific areas that I want to improve in my shop, but I do want to work a little bit on my website. I'd really like to try writing a few more blog posts. Maybe turning some of my YouTube scripts into blog posts for people who process things better by reading. I don't know, let me know what you think. Are we interested in articles? Yay or nay? Anywho, let's move on. So in the creative realm, what can we improve on and explore more of? We're all thinking it, the Merry Meadow for sure. I think especially now that I'm in a good place with my creativity, I'm even more excited about the story of the meadow. Exploring new environments and characters and building up this little world. So one thing I would like to do at some point is illustrate a Merry Meadow map. I've always been very fascinated by maps, and I think it would be really fun to have this kind of top-down view of where everything is in the meadow. Also, it would help me mentally to know where stuff's at. I currently have, I think, 13 Merry Meadow illustrations, but only like 7 of them are specific environments, so there's a lot left to explore. I want to paint a schoolhouse. I want to create like a trade and oddities shop with a little crow owner. I think that would be really fun. And as always, we need more of Bobbles delivering his baked goods to the meadow folks. That's just a given. I also want to make more time for urban sketching and plein air painting. Like I mentioned earlier, we're currently doing a plein air quest in the Curious Creatives group, and I am having an absolute blast. It combines 2 of my favorite things, having fun adventures and painting or sketching. I think doing more of this is gonna 10x my creativity and my skills because it's building a mental library of things I know how to paint, and it's working out my composition skills, color mixing skills, hand-eye coordination, all the things. It's a very well-rounded workout to incorporate into my creative practice. So we've looked at what didn't work, what is working, and how we can improve on that. Now let's chat a little bit about some new things I'd like to try. I don't want to try too many new things at once. Like we've already discussed, I get a little bit overexcited and jump on too many bandwagons sometimes. So I touched on this a little bit in the last video, but I really want to put out a mini art book of my Bits and Bobbles sketches next year. I think it's absolutely doable, especially since I would only be selling the books myself, not like through Amazon or anything. So I'm currently researching different printer options, trying to find a place that offers proofs. You know, the ideal would be to one day work with like 3D Total to put out art books, but you know, we're still a little small at the moment, so it's gonna be the self-publishing route for now. This isn't necessarily a new thing per se, but I would like to take some more classes. Maybe even an in-person class, maybe? I don't know. I've found a few figure drawing classes not terribly far from me, and I think it would be really, really fun to be able to take one once in a while. For one, I love figure drawing, and I think it would be a great thing for my skills to take an in-person class, but I also really love the idea of being around other artists. I live in a pretty rural, kind of non-artsy place, and you know, it's a little lonely sometimes. Not that there aren't artists where I live, but it's not the vibe. It's not the culture here. So to go to a specifically artsy place to take an art class, I think that would be a really good thing for me. I'd also like to take Justin Donaldson's landscape painting course and background workshop. After taking his gouache class earlier this year, it's pretty safe to say that I am a huge fan of his teaching style. I think the landscape course would be great for me in my more outdoorsy Merricky Meadow paintings, and the background workshop, honestly, I just love backgrounds. I love learning about them, I love painting them, and I think that class would be a lot of fun. Another new thing I'd like to try is a new product idea. Okay, so y'all are creatives, right? That's a pretty safe assumption if you're watching this video. Show of hands, how many of you are journalers or letter writers? Not necessarily like every day faithfully recording every single element of your life in a diary, but like, you know, maybe once or twice a week, or even just like once a month, doing the fun journal spread and such. I love journaling and letter writing and picking out like fun themes and spreads. So what would you guys think about a little journal kit? I'm just brainstorming here, like maybe I could create some fun patterns and turn them into little scrapbook papers. We could do some more stickers, maybe a washi tape, that could be cool. So maybe the little kit could have like 2 or 3 papers, a handful of stickers, and a roll of washi tape. Is that something you guys would be interested in? I don't know, it sounds kind of fun to me, but maybe only to me, so who knows? Cast your votes below. Anywho, let's chat a little bit about this illustration before we say our goodbyes. So I went back and forth a lot over whether or not to even paint this piece. I really loved the line art, and part of me kind of just wanted to keep it as an ink drawing. However, I think part of that was also because watercolor, you know, it kind of scares me, okay? But if you want to grow, you gotta do the scary things, so we got out those watercolors and got to work. I laid down this kind of purple tone first, just to knock out some of the white and get some clarity on the values. Now, I didn't have a color comp for this one, so I was basically just winging it the whole time. I did know that I wanted the wallpaper stripes to be green though, as well as her cardigan. About halfway through the process, I really began to doubt myself. Genuinely, I do not understand watercolors, and every time I use them, it just feels so washed out. Like I have to layer things a million times to get the values that I want. Also, watercolors kind of just do what they want and make a lot of textures, which is cool, but also sometimes not cool. Sometimes you just want something smooth and watercolor goes,
Nah man, I'm gonna do exactly what I want.
Anywho, I did end up liking the end result. It has this kind of vintagey look to it from the color palette, which was pretty fun. Also, I 10,000% relate to the character writing something, crumpling it up, trying again, crumpling that up, and so on. If that doesn't explain the creative process sometimes. So I've titled this illustration Lost for Words, and it is available as a print in my shop if you vibe with it and want to add it to your own collection. Anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed chatting with me about how my business and my creativity are going to be changing moving forward, and watching me paint this illustration. Huge thank you to the Cozy and Curious Creatives over on Patreon for helping to support my art journey. I love you guys so frickin' much, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. If you're interested in another ink and watercolor illustration, then head on over to watch this video next. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys!